Your Excellency, first of all, thank you for accepting our invitation to join the diplomatic evening series hosted by the Faculty of Political Science of SNSPA. It's a great pleasure for us to be here and to share your thoughts and your experiences with our viewers and even with our students.
Thank you so much for having me at this time. Deosovite applaudere pentru mine. Thank you again.
And my first question for you is, before we discuss the wider international landscape, could you share a brief overview of your diplomatic career and what was the thing that bring you to this diplomatic path?
Yes, so just briefly talking about myself. Yes, I studied also political science like you at my university in Seoul, and I thought about my future career, what I will do after graduation. So I decided to pursue foreign service, the diplomat's career, to make a contribution to our national security. Also, because as you know well, the Republic of Korea has been divided since the Korean War. So we have been facing very daunting task in terms of the security issues. So I wanted to do something more to contribute to enhancing our security and also having good relations with all of the world. So that led me to sit in the national examination for foreign service. So I passed the examination for diplomats in 1995, and since then I started my career as diplomats. And for the roughly 3 decades of my service, mostly my career has been focused on nuclear issues, non-proliferation issues, and arms control, and the sanctions issues as well. My overseas assignment included our mission to New York, United Nations, and Vienna on the embassy and mission there. And I also worked for briefly 2 years at the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, as the non-proliferation expert on there. And Romania is my 5th overseas post, and Romania is my first post as the ambassador, right? So that means that I have special affection to Romania, because Romania is the country in which I'm serving as the ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a rich area. Second, how does serving in Romania compare with your previous assignments in diplomatic terms and even in cultural terms as well?
Yeah, as I said, Romania is the first country in which I served as the ambassador. So it can be very much differentiated from my previous postings, because at the time I was just a member of the embassy or missions. But I'm here because I'm ambassador, fully accredited to Romania, and I have my embassy, I have my staff, over 20 people, and I have the full authority to manage and to run my embassy, to manage our bilateral relations also. So in that sense, I feel much higher burden on my shoulder, right, to steer our bilateral relations between Republic of Korea and Romania to a very higher level. So I think for the last 3 years and a half during my ambassadorship here in Romania, I can say I'm confident to say that I almost fulfilled my mission to bring our bilateral relations to a much higher level So I'm quite happy about that.
It's amazing. And I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much. Multimask.
In the presentation you delivered at the SNSP University, at the invitation of our center, you addressed the students the sentence that the world we know is changing. The geopolitics has returned. Could you please elaborate more about this, and what do you consider the key defining characteristics of this new global environment, let's say?
First of all, I have to thank you for the very kind invitation from the SNSPS PA, very prestigious the higher education. So when I just received the invitation to speak in front of the very smart students, I put a lot of efforts to prepare my special lecture. All right. So I thought that what points I have to make in front of the political scientist. I put a little bit more on the academic things, some international relations theories, to just help our students, our listeners, enhancing their understanding. Yes, I emphasized during my lecture. Yes, we have been heading into new era of the international relations. When we look back for the last 100 years, we had the Concert of Europe and the division of the Europe and power politics, and of course the World War broke out, and briefly we have 20 years peace before the breakout of the Second World War, and after the Second World War, the world has been divided again from the West and East, right? And after the fall of the Berlin Wall in the 1989, and we were ushered into post-Cold War era. At that time, everybody keeps very high hope, riding very high on the newborn the optimism. So the ideological rivalry competition is over. So every country, every humankind in the earth, we will be living on a very peaceful. Right. So at that time, I remember that there were many articles and books to predict that the war, has been consigned into a long past. So we are living in a very prosperous. So there will be the free movement of the laborers, people, free movement of the trade, free movement of the capitals that will hold the international society more tightly. So in this the interconnected world, the war is the thing of the past. So that kind of thing actually very much prevalent at the time, since from the 1990s until 2010s. But since then we have witnessed the 9/11 terrorist attacks. For the political scientist future, and for me, diplomats, what's the meaning of the 9/11 attacks? It means that instead of the nations, but individual terrorist groups, they emerged as some new threats. Right? Yeah. So there has been a lot of talks and discussions inside the European Union and the NATO and also the United Nations how to regulate the proliferation things carried out by individual or terrorist groups, right? So after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the pendulum swung to individual groups rather than nation state. And in the 2014. And afterwards, we saw the nation states rose again as the main the actor in the international relations. The Russia's took a takeover of the Crimea, and just 4 years ago, 2022, the full invasion of Russia into Ukraine. So again, nation state re-emerged as the main actor of the international relations, right? And the second thing, just the before during the post Cold War era, we forgot about the power politics or realistic view. Because every nation is very closely interlinked, so there's no way each state again pursues power politics, right? But that era is gone. What the war in Ukraine means is that the international politics went back to original international relations. That two things. One, still nation state is the key player in international relations. Second, the realistic view, geopolitics or politics, still out there. All right. So that means to me, the history repeats itself. History comes into a full circle again, right? Yeah. So by that I meant that we are ushering into a new era, right? But this new era, this new international relations environment is slightly different from the era the before the First World War. We are now more connected in terms of just everything, trade, investments, or movement it is deepening ever since. So it's quite different. And among that interconnectedness, nation state, national power, they takes a priority again, right? So in the academic theoretical jargon, we are living in a version 2 of the power politics in the interconnected other world, right? So by that I meant that the world we were getting used to was over, and we are heading to new setting in international relations. That was my key point actually during my special lecture.
Very interesting point, especially coming from Your Excellency.
Yeah.
The Korean War continues to shape the security dynamics even today, well beyond the peninsula, and for decades South Korea has maintained a posture of defense under constant pressure. Its approach, often described as peace to strength, combines strong defense preparedness, technological modernization, civil military resilience, and solid alliances, as we all know. Many European countries, including Romania, are now reassessing their security posture in light of growing instability in the region, hybrid threats, and increased defense commitments. What lesson can European countries learn from South Korea's decades-long experience in deterrence and even resilience?
Yeah, during the lecture, I emphasized the importance of the maps, right? As a diplomat, foreign service officer, one of my habits is to look into the map. What map can tell us, So when you look at the map in the Northeast Asia, in which Republic of Korea is situated, yes, as you rightly said, we are still divided. We are still facing every day the existential threats from North Korea. Ever since the Korean War was brought to an end, not actually end, it's the ceasefire, right? In 1953, the two Koreas on the Korean Peninsula keeping just on a very high alert, and we know more than any other countries what the war means. In the 1950s, when North Korea invaded the South Korea, at that time my country was almost on the edge of total annihilation. But because of the help from our partners and allies also, and they just help us to defend ourselves. So we know that what war really means. So it's about the issue of the life and death, life and death of our citizens, All right. So then, ever since the ceasefire of the Korean War, we have been very vigilant, right, to keep very strong defense capabilities. As I emphasized during the lecture, since the end of the Korean War, 1953, my government, my country has been allocating, in average, 2.6 or 7% of our national GDP into defense. We are still maintaining a conscription. We are putting a lot of budgets and resources into foster the defense industries. We are maintaining very tight, daylight alliance with our only ally, United States. We are also expanding our security cooperation with the NATO and also the European Union. That kind of efforts, that kind of enormous investment into maintaining our defense capability. Why? We know, again, what war really means, right? And we have to do almost everything to keep the safety and the security of our people. When compared to us, when we look at the European continent, yes, there are some countries situated in the front lines, like Romania, right? But the other countries, situated in the little bit back from the front line. Yeah, and also ever since the 1975 Helsinki process, the habits tradition of cooperating for the stability and security, it has been prevalent, right? And during the after Cold War era, there has been peaceful moments. So lots of the European countries, they spend not on defense but on the welfare or the other thing. It's quite the opposite direction from us. And nowadays, lots of the European countries, they are awakened up to the real dangers that still there are, threats existing. And recently, they are increasing the defense budget. So I think it's rather long overdue, actually. Anyway, the defense of myself should be dependent on myself, right? So self-reliance in defense capability should come first. Second, to have a very strong alliance system also, and the collective security in the European continent in terms of the NATO, so the kind of the multi-layered defense capabilities is very much important to make sure the safety of U.S. region. So Korean case, our case, is very well showcased the readiness and the preparedness of fighting. Yes, the best way to win over is that to win, not by fighting, but we have to prepare for the very worst case scenario, right? Because it's about the life and death issue. So we cannot be self-complacent. So we have to keep vigilance, right? And the defense budget is like the air. So in the peaceful times, we don't notice the importance of the air. But when we are deprived of the air, we know how important the air is.
That's a great
So
knowledge.
yeah, so it's like the air, right? So again, to make sure the safety of our citizens, to just keep our national integration, territorial integrity, to maintain our system of democracy, then we have to prepare for the very worst scenario case. And yes, that lesson, I hope the lesson could be learned by European countries.
Of course. Thank you. Since 2008, Korea and Romania have built a strategic partnership grounded in shared democratic and values and overlapping security interests. Today, our countries also pursue shared economic goals, given South Korea's global leadership in technology, infrastructure, and innovation. So, which sector offer the greatest potential for Korean-Romanian cooperation, and what role Korean companies can play in this big picture?
Very good question. I have been working here exactly for 3 years and 10 months. So as the foreign envoy, a foreigner, I know what I have to know, and and I think I know very well about Romania. To me, Romania is a very a special country with a big potential. The size of the Romania is the two times bigger than Republic of Korea. And the population 20 million is the sixth or seventh largest in European Union countries. You have the very the vast resources, natural resources also. You have good so you have good weather also, and your location situated in a very strategic point as well. Look at the Constanta port. It's the a gateway into a European continent, right? Yeah. And my mission was then how to make a contribution to our strategic partner, Romania, to turn that potential into real development. We know the more than any other country about the development history and the secrets and recipes of the rapid economic development and securing our national sovereignty. Because we suffered from the colonialism, and we suffered from the Korean War. Right after the end of the Korean War, the per capita GDP of Korea was at the time less than $60 per person. One of the the most poorest country in the world. Now, after the 7 decades, we are now stands at number 10 in terms of the economic power. Our innovation, science and technology is ranked number 2 or 3. Just last year, the United Nations, the annual report on the Global Innovation Index puts Korea number 4 in the world in terms of innovation, science and technology. The Global Innovation Index report index, the report also puts Korea number 1 in terms of the human capital. Number 2 in terms of the investments per capita, right? So we know how to advance. So I have been very determined to share our know-how technology. So ever since I assumed my ambassadorship 4 years ago, my ambassador and I myself has been putting a lot of efforts, to further enhance actually the economic cooperation. So we singled out 3 most important projects. There's the defense industry, nuclear energy, and infrastructure. Those 3 areas were designated as a strategic economic development project between our 2 governments. Why? Defense, the nuclear, and the infrastructure. Those 3 areas are very backbone of any economic development. That area has the a spillover effect into other industries. For example, when the Romania developed your own defense industry, skills can be used also by other sectors also. So that is what I call a spillover effect. The clean energy is the clean energy, and the energy is also very indispensable pillar of any economic development. and also the infrastructure as well, right? So those three projects, we agreed with the Romanian government to pursue with the top priority to further enhance, to catapult our bilateral relations into very higher relations, not only in the friendly relations, but also economic development issues and the security and defense cooperation also, right? And so far, I'm content. I'm happy to see some concrete results. To see what many people misunderstand is that diplomacy is all about empty rhetoric, a promise, but not the followed by done, real concrete results. But my embassy different, just the how to bring our promise into the real beneficial projects on the ground. That has been, the most important works of my embassy, and so far we did it. Our cooperation in the defense area and the nuclear energy area is now booming, and I hope more and more Korean investments, Korean companies will be here, and there are many Korean companies to do work to contribute also in the area of infrastructure as well. So I think our bilateral Korea-Romania and the economic cooperation, the thing is on track now. It is traveling in the toward the right direction, I can say. And yes, in doing that, we will share our expertise, our know-how, how to develop, Yeah, just when I just meet with my friends, politicians, or some senior government officials, what I am constantly emphasizing is that we are not simply selling or exporting something, but we were just putting the greenfield investments, greenfield investment to share technology and the know-hows, and to create high-paying jobs for the young, bright Romanian young people. Yes, so I can say that yes, we are very serious in doing that, not simply exporting or selling, but we will contribute to the sustainable development of Romanian economy and industry. Thank you.
So what you said briefly to my next question, you already answered to some of the spots, but South Korea's development story is often described as one of the most remarkable in the modern era, shaped by rapid economic growth, major investment in education, and innovation-led industries, like you said. At the same time, many analysts know that this model also creates challenges, including intense competition and social pressure, and raises questions about long-term sustainability in a globalized economy. How does South Korea balance high expectations in education with the realities of the labor market in social well-being? In other words, how does the country ensure that investment in education translates into meaningful opportunities for the people?
Oh yes, very very good questions, and actually to answer your questions fully, then I need more than 2 hours actually. But to shorten my my answer is that yes, the when we look at the statistics of our national budget, the every year. Actually our national budget is roughly $600 billion, $600 billion roughly, and the largest share is going to the education, including R&D also. The second largest portion of our government budget goes to the welfare, making sure that social safety net And the third is the defense area. Yes, Korea has been a very competitive society during our development path for the last 6 decades, and I also survived that very competitive society because rather smaller size of the country. As I said before, the size of the South Korea, Republic of Korea, is roughly half of the Romania's, but the population is more than 2 times bigger than Romania's, and we don't have the much natural resources. So small land, but lots of the people, populations, and with less natural resources. Under that environment, what my government has been trying to achieve is that to develop human capital, right? Because we don't have any oil, we don't have any natural resources, we don't have, then we have, but we have enough people. Then we have to rely on the talent of our people. That's why the largest share of our national government budget is occupied by the education and R&D. Yes, so as you said, yes, one of the big points is that because there are limited jobs, limited opportunities with lots of people, so that leads our society to be very highly competitive. For example, to get into good university like SNSPA, the students they should study very hard. So in the past, there was some joke that if you to prepare for the university entrance examination, if you sleep 3 hours, you will pass. If you sleep 4 hours, you will fail. All right. So the young students, aged 17, 18, 19, for the preparation of the university exam, they just sleep less than 4 hours a day. Very highly competitive actually to get into university. Right, yeah. So but just as the Republic of Korea, just joined the ranks of advanced economy. Now nowadays I can sense the change of the mood. So the enhanced competition, very severely competitive society will damage, actually our welfare, mental health also, and some people naturally will be left behind. So my government, my society, change it a little bit, switch it to make sure that nobody will be left behind. That is why my government is spending the second largest budget into the welfare, social welfare, to create national pension systems, to create the national health care system also. To see every Korean people, 52 million people, we are entitled to benefit from our national health systems with easy access to clinics and hospitals with less expensive money. And also my government has been introduced many social safety nets to make sure the minimum wage and the severance pay also, and to make sure that every citizen should be leading noble life. And in particular nowadays, because the birth rate of our society is dropping, and like other advanced economy, Korean society is also aging very fast. So under that new environment, the demand for social safety net or welfare will be growing year by year. So we are forced to spend much more money in terms of in the area of the social safety net and the social welfare. And nowadays our young generation, they think differently from our generation. The nowadays the young generation, they put a priority over their individual happiness rather than survive, rather than the working very hard, but
times.
different times. So they are now putting more emphasis on making a delicate balance between work and individual happiness, right? And I think that is a good transition, because we are now entering into a fourth industrial revolution, AI-driven innovation society, right? So in the new society driven by AI or computer or the thing, the manual work is no more relevant, but we need more creativity, right? So instead of just sleeping 3 or 4 hours a day, but sleeping 7 hours, 8 hours would be more helping to think more creatively.
Ways to
Yes, right. And also the social values are becoming more diverse, right? So there are other values as well. For my age and for my parents' age, a social value was very simple: to work hard, to study hard, to get into good university, to get good jobs and making money. So for that, we have to work hard.
that was
Yeah. But nowadays, the young generation, they are having the other opportunities and new values as well. So our society is changing in line with the advancement of the new technology and the new AI. And nowadays, I feel by myself as well that the young generations, including my son, they are much smarter than me. All right. So the less work, less manual work, but they are still very creative, and they are very strong in the meeting new challenges. So I don't have any other worries. So our society, as we have been, will be adapting new environment, and the new environment will need new type of human resources. So I don't have any worries, and I'm confident that at this moment the Korean society and our populations, and in particular the young generations, they are adapting very well to go beyond their father's age, their father's generations.
That's part of the challenges which are coming with the new developments in the world. Like many countries that have undergone rapid development, South Korea has a highly concentrated population in a few major cities, while other areas remains less populated. This concentration can bring efficiency, but it also creates policy challenges, from infrastructure planning to equal access to opportunities. How does South Korea approach development and public policy given this uneven population distribution? Are there any specific strategies to ensure that that smaller cities and rural communities are not left behind in terms of jobs and education and even social care?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, another very critical issue actually is during the every country, every nation has faced the same problems when the economy just transformed. More and more people flock to major cities. For example, Korea, we have a 52 million population. Living in the Seoul and the nearby regions, the roughly more than 11 million. And the second largest city, Busan, and the third largest city, Gwangju, when combined, I think more than 70% of our population, they are living in the big cities, right? So some rural area has been left behind in terms of the access, in terms of the budget, in terms of the chance and opportunities. So my government has been trying to resolve this issue. For example, we have set up the a presidential committee for the balanced development, to put more emphasis to give more deposits into other cities, rural areas. At this moment, my government, we have also this kind of the balanced development strategy. There are three most important points in pursuing balanced development among cities. One is that we have to create more jobs in the region. Anyway, the people will gather to the area which can offer more jobs. So to create more job opportunity in the region is placed number one priority. So my government is now relocating some government department and agencies from Seoul to the region. For example, the Ministry of Sea Maritime, it will be relocated into second biggest city. So when one agency, government agency or the department moved into the other region, it will create lots of jobs. Second thing, to invest more into that region, to be recreated into some industrial hub. So my government has designated 5 mega cities to put more resources to make that 5 mega cities into very highly competitive city and region in terms of the some advanced the hub for some advanced technologies. So the AI driven or some the semiconductors or some biometrics. So my government has been designated the 5 mega cities to be hub in that new rising technologies. So when one city is armed with the hub of this specific industry, it will attract more capital, it will attract more people. Third point is that to give more autonomy to each region, to make sure that that's the region does the stand up in the sustainable manner in terms of the budget, in terms of the other resources. So to give more autonomy, to give more, devolve the power to each region. So those 3 points are key. The direction of our strategy to make sure the equal, balanced development of each cities.
More and more lessons for us.
Oh, thank you.
In the light of rising hybrid threats, contested international standards and erosion of traditional security guarantees, as we see, what steps should the international community take to reinforce the collective security mechanisms? And how can states ensure that international principles remains effective and respected within such a volatile strategic environment?
Oh, okay. Oh, very good question. Yeah. So one of the characteristics in this time of transformative international environment is that the power and the role of the multinational organizations like the United Nations is now decreasing. Many people say that nowadays in a new security environment, the role and the function of the international intergovernmental organization is now receding. But but I don't agree with that. Still, we need international organizations like the United Nations. Why? Yeah, because you are the all students majoring in political science, So let me draw some the international relations theories. There are three angles to look into international politics. One is realism, right? Only nation state is the major key player, and the other thing is not, is not so important. Just the secondary issues. So a realist, they just uphold the importance of the only nation state. Second stream of thought is the idealist. So the every country, our global village, we are striving to achieve something noble ideas. So every country will can live in peace. Third one is the constructivism. New ideas, constructivism. Even though the international politics is dominated by power politics, by nation state, but there are something that has been constructed that even nation state is bound by some norms and ideas, right? Myself, I'm a little bit declined. I'm a little bit lean toward constructivism, even though I'm still a realist. But I think there are more than that. There are more than simple power politics. There are some universal values, democracies, the safety of each citizens, and so in that sense, to fill the gap between the nation states centered order and the other area, the gap can be filled by international organizations. I myself served as the director of the United Nations 15 years ago. And I'm just a very strong supporter of the United Nations and international organizations. Why? Many people also misunderstand that UN. Some people hyped the role of the United Nations by saying that UN is there to bring us all the humankinds to the heaven. No. Actually, the role and the function of the international organizations like the United Nations is not to bring us to the perfect world, but its role is to lift ourselves from the hell. Right? At this moment, there are many international organizations working very hard in the battlefield. WHO and the UNICEF or IOM, the people, they risk their lives in the war-torn area, in the Gaza, in the other the African state. They risked their lives to save the people, to feed the people. That kind of thing is our common goal. When each nation state cannot do or will not do, that area should be covered by the staff of the international organizations. The second thing, we have the global issues like the climate change, and then the COVID-19 pandemics. That cannot be solved by only one country. Global change should be met by global response. There's exactly where the international the organization can play their role. So even though, as some people argue, even though we are still living in the nation states, the power politics or the jungles, but there are still something which cannot be filled out by nation state. Global problem should be resolved by globally. global collaborations. And there are still many regions and the people who need help in the war zone, that can't be fulfilled by only one country. That should be also carried out by multilateral international organizations. Recently I saw some data, statistics that in the Gaza war, even though many people have died, and from the very unspeakable terrorist attack by Hamas into the Israeli civilians, and after the ensuing war also, there has been many catastrophes on both sides, war zone. But still, there have been lots of the international organizations, people stand to work to save the people, to run hospitals also, to feed the hunger people, that has been carried out by international organizations. And also the UN and the other international organizations, they suffered also a lot from the death and sacrifices of such as deaths working in the international other organizations. So I think, yes, we need to expand the role and function of the international organizations. That's my strong belief.
There is always a place for everyone in this world.
Yes.
And my last question
Thank you.
is, you advise me and my colleagues at the SNSPA to read, connect the dots, and build our own vision. Coming from a diplomat with such a distinguished career as yours, that advice is extremely valuable for young aspiring professionals. What other core messages could you offer to the next generation of diplomats, policymakers, or even entrepreneurs listen to this interview?
Yeah, as I emphasized during my special lecture at the SNSPA, and also when I just deliver my speech to other schools, and even I keep talking to my staff also, the importance of reading. Reading is very important to nourish your knowledge, right? Without reading, you can't know a history, you can't know the lessons from our previous ancestors and the philosophers. So the first thing to start with is that reading.
Critical thinking as well.
Yeah, without reading, you cannot have thinking. You cannot have creative the imaginations. So the first step should be to read widely. And second thing, after reading, and you have to also create your own perspectives. Your perspectives, your ideas cannot be dictated by others. Okay, only you yourself, the dictator of your perspective, right? Just by saying perspective, it can mean many things. For me, a perspective thing, we have to anchor our thoughts into some universal the ideas, values about the democracies, about the freedoms, about the peace. But but outside that very important anchor, but you have to develop also your many aspects of thinking. A society, international politics is a very complex one. So there is not only one single lens. There is not only one single thread to pull on. So you have to see some social issues from many the angles, yes, points of view, right? Yeah, you're right. That means you have to able to connect the dots. That means you have to see one specific issues from many different angles. Yeah. I want to emphasize to the future political scientists, about corporations, about other bond which holds our international society or our society together. Is that when I served in New York in our permanent mission of the United Nations 16, 17 years ago, I was honored to meet and to talk with the very famous strategist, the Henry Kissinger. I met him 3 times actually, but not directly meeting between me and him. But at the time I accompanied my ambassador in his meeting with Dr. Henry Kissinger. So I accompanied my ambassador, right, to write down something as the note-taker. But at the meeting, after the meeting, I was given a chance to talk to Dr. Kissinger. So at the time, I asked Dr. Kissinger that to give me one lesson, which I should carry on during my whole diplomatic service. And I still remember, and I wrote down, and still I carry that memo. And Dr. Kissinger at the time advised me that, hey, young counselor, I can give you only one lesson to you. The lesson is that, if I quote him, is that in some time there is a situation or environment you don't know what to do. In your journey, you will be facing some, situations in which you are, you don't know what to do, in which direction you will pursue, how to resolve the issue. There will be a situation you will face in your career. In that environment, in that situation, you will face. Then please remember one thing: when you don't know what to do, then just support your friends. Right? Yeah. So what makes us friends? But what do you mean by your friends?
Good question.
Yeah, sharing the same perspectives. As I quoted during my lecture, when we look into the same direction, right? That sharing the same direction, sharing the same perspectives, they are my friends.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, in the name of our university and in the name of the Faculty of Political Sciences, and our center as well, we thank you for your valuable time and your valuable lessons, and we wish you the very best in your work here in Romania.
Once again, thank you very much. It's a very precious opportunity to speak to you, to the very smart students majoring in political science at the very prestigious SNSPA. So I'm very happy to have this chance to talk to you. Yes, we were the Korean paper and myself also, we will remain forever as your friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.